All right, so take two, actually take three, because take one was amazing. It was perfect. I did the whole video and I got done. I'm like, yes, I can just send it out this time. And then I watched it and I took it at landscape mode and I'm cut off right here, the whole video. So the whole time, this is all you see. You don't even see my face or my head. It looks ridiculous. So then take two is to make sure that I could actually fit in the video when I turned my camera the other way. So take three. Okay, this month is all about window cleaning. It is window cleaning time in the world. The spring is sprung, and I know it didn't feel like it yesterday or today, but it is coming. It is here. We feel it. Our windows are finally warm enough to clean them on a regular basis. So away we go. Here's some window cleaning tips. We all know we all know the basics of cleaning windows, but there are always some tips and tricks to make it a little bit easier or make us do better. One thing I've learned over my life is that I will clean a window and I will look at it and it will just be amazing and beautiful. And then I'll come back and the sun will be shining in my window and it will look awful and horrendous. So I've learned a few things over the years, and I'm not perfect by any means. I would say one of my least skills is cleaning windows, but at the same time, when I clean at church for people, they think I'm the best window cleaner. Not just because these are things we do. You guys are all the best too. You guys all get this, but we're gonna just learn a few things, okay? So Weber cleaning, we use our hands and this. We don't use squeegees for window cleaning. We don't use one of those fancy systems because it's a lot of skill and there's a lot of training involved in that, and you have to do windows a lot in order to use a squeegee and that whole system. So we're not even gonna mess with it. We just don't. We use this microfiber, flour sack, or e-cloth. Either one is good. I'm gonna use an e-cloth or a flour sack today just because it's simple and it's readily available. You can use two microfibers if you're cleaning the outsides of your doors for the first time this spring here. Or even just when it's really windy on days like this and it's blowing a lot of dirt around. I will oftentimes take two flour or microfiber towels with me because the first one is actually like in a bucket of water is just soupy. I'm just gonna get that first layer of grime off because they are covered in dust, especially your ledges. A toothbrush will come in really handy to get into the corners of your window ledges and your door ledges. Get that built up dirt and grime off. Sometimes in the insides of the windows they have it too, so a toothbrush is really, really handy. Two microfiber. Now I'm using the interior of these windows. I don't need a second microfiber. I don't need to get that first layer off. But that's what the microfiber is doing, is taking the dirt off of your window, okay? You don't want to buff dry when the water on the window is dirty because this isn't gonna buff anything dry. It's not going to finish cleaning. You're still gonna leave a layer of dirt on the window. Now we use Window Clean from Hilliard. It's a product that we get from Hilliard for our windows. It lasts forever because you're only going to use a little bit. It is designed specifically for windows because it has a little bit of an ammonia base, and so it's going to help it dry clear. It's going to evaporate and vaporize into the air, so it's not leaving a residue supposedly. But one thing we've learned is you want to mix it very, very thin. So a third of their recommendation, half their recommendation for the amount of chemical you put in a bottle to mix it. I prefer not to use any window cleaner because I feel like everything leaves a little bit of a residue. There's a purple agent in there to help us tell the difference between another cleaner. I feel like it just leaves residue. It's just gonna be on there. There's foaming spray ones we use at church. There's all over. I've used every kind of cleaner for windows and they all have their purpose, but I do feel like there's a buildup problem. And so I prefer to use just a wet microfiber and a dry flour sack. Either one is fine. If your windows are great and they're not streaky with using the Window Clean, then you're doing it right, okay? So either one is acceptable. All right, something I've learned, you wanna work in small patches. If you tackle too big of an area and it's warm outside or the sun is shining on your window, you will not get this buffed and streak free before it's gonna dry, okay? I always go over the main surface of my area. I end in the corners, okay? Your corners are where your dirt is gonna hide the most when you're cleaning, so I always end, whether I'm washing or drying, in the edges and the corners of my window. So get it wet and then dry it. Now, do I go over it once with my dry and go, oh, it's dry, it's done? No, because you can see all these little streaks. They're gonna dry into a streak. So you are gonna buff your window. And I love the word buff because it's really just what you're doing. You're gonna dry and dry and dry, and you will be able to feel the difference between a window that has a little bit of moisture on it, a window that's got a little bit of dirt on it, and a window that is perfectly clean. You can tell that difference just by drying. Again, always end in my corners. That's gonna be the place that you miss the moisture the most. It's gonna be where you see the most streaks. End in the corners. Okay, pick your next section, work your way down. Okay, get wet in the main area, and then buff it dry. Now, if this is pretty dirty, look at your rag, it's dirty, either put it in your water, go get a new rag, turn it over, whatever it is you need to do, and get it wet. Take your flour sack, and you're gonna buff it dry. You're gonna start in the main area, and in the corners, fold it over. I love to work in circles. I can feel a huge difference in my window. I feel like working in circles, it's a good muscle builder, but it just helps. It works easier. I feel like if somebody is trying to be too rote and going back and forth, you are bound to miss something. So if you go in circles, you're gonna overlap yourself multiple times. You're much more likely to hit every surface. And in the corners, I'm huffing and puffing. I fully believe that when you're washing windows correctly, you are tired. Your arms are tired, your body is tired, you're breathing heavier because you are exerting a lot of effort. And I know it's personal opinion, but when you're cleaning a window, you're gonna put forth that effort and you're gonna feel it, you're gonna huff and puff, okay? The other tool that we have for cleaning windows is the razor blade. It's great for getting off tape residue or bird droppings or all sorts of stuff that is left on the windows that you don't necessarily want on your cleaning rag. It's great, but please, please, please make sure there is not a UV coating on your window before you start. For example, in Weber cleaning, if you go very much down to the corner, you can feel there is a coating. And this is a UV coating, so we don't get all the sunlight in here and all the UV rays. If you put the razor blade on that UV coating, you're gonna destroy it, okay? One last thing I'm gonna say, that's really all there is to know about windows, guys. It's just wash, 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 dry, 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 and dry until it's completely dry, okay? You can use the flour sack until it's a little bit moist. If it ever starts to feel kind of droopy wet, go ahead and grab a new one. Start again with the same thing. With a fresh, dry one, you don't want this to be wet because as long as you are not getting all those moisture streaks off of your window, you're not gonna be effective, okay? That's when you swap it out. When this rag feels like it's wiping the dirt around rather than picking the dirt up, go ahead and swap it out for a new one, okay? I would say there is no such thing as using too many rags when it comes to windows. I'm gonna teach you another thing that I have probably not taught on the monthly memo. It's called the 8-sided fold. I used this all the time, and I used one rag to clean bathrooms, and I had 7 bathrooms at Muth, okay? And I used one rag to clean all seven of them, and I knew each one was getting cleaned effectively just because of this, okay? So fold your towel in half, fold it in half again. All right, now I have 1, 2. After I use those 2 sides, I'm gonna fold my towel inside out. I have 3, 4 sides. Now, I'm going to open my towel up, I'm going to flip over this way, and now I have 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Now, if you hold your rag like this, each time you clean, you keep it in that fold, you have 8 fresh, clean sides before you have to turn over to a new rag. Just a little trick that I learned a long time ago, and it's been helpful for me, so maybe it'll be helpful for you. Have a great day. I hope that you can see my head on this video, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.